actually in the suit, or the robot thing. Who actually died? Who actually whatever? It's possible that nobody died. It's possible that nobody's in the suit. Anyways, I guess we'll see. And then the Monokuma and Cubs theater segment began. Yep, all of a sudden. But with all the Monokubs destroyed, this segment was no longer possible. Oh, that's true. And so the curtain quickly fell. Oh, what a sad Monokuma theater we got there. Truly the greatest tragedy of this game so far.
The flashback light became the motive. When Kokichi remembered that he was a remnant of despair, I planned to kill him.
So you say, Maki.
I thought that if I killed him, this game, and the battle between hope and despair, would end.
Right. We were getting in... I still don't believe that Maki... I don't know. It all made... This is basically what I was thinking, but I don't know if it's true. We'll see.
I was confident in my talent as an assassin. I knew I would be able to do it.
We've tried to end this killing game before, but...
But then what about Kaito?
You are naive.
Huh?
That's what I thought. I knew Kokichi would take advantage of my naivete, simply because it's him.
Maki totally gets me!
That's why. I needed to settle it myself. I took the poison arrows and the crossbow, and broke into the hangar with an exisal.
But then
when I
what?
entered the hangar, I saw something I never expected.
Was Kaito already dead?
Kaito and Kokichi were fighting each other.
Okay, so it seems like it was going sort of as planned. Kaito had already shot the crossbow bolt at Kokichi's arm. So what we're missing here is that Kokichi needs to now be shot in the back.
Kokichi was shot in the arm with a crossbow arrow. Probably by Kaito when he fought back.
Yeah, well, Kaito wasn't fighting back. He was, well, I guess in a sense he was fighting back, but he attacked Kokichi, I think, in this instance. And then we're also missing a hole on Kaito's sleeve, right?
Both of them stopped and looked at the exisal, most likely surprised by its sudden appearance. Kokichi immediately took out his remote and attempted to control the exisal I was in. I jumped out of the exisal before he could, and shot Kokichi in the back with an arrow.
Didn't even let him speak, huh? It's possible that they were coming to some sort of an agreement there, though.
That should have been enough to stop him, since the arrow was coated with poison.
The Strike 9 poison, correct? But why pick that particular poison? Some of the poisons in my lab were far more lethal.
I wanted Kokichi to confess his true intentions before he died.
I see.
And find out why he was always lying and trying to confuse us.
What do you mean?
If he was the mastermind, it would have been easier for him to hide in the shadows, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of things that haven't made sense with Kokichi being the mastermind. And I've been saying that all along, but...
He could have made it seem as if the late Junko was secretly behind this killing game. That way, he could reveal himself as the surprise mastermind to liven up the game. Because of his suspicious actions, anyone would already suspect him as the mastermind.
Yeah, exactly. It was so suspicious.
Especially with that message in the courtyard.
So intentionally suspicious that it didn't make sense.
Kokichi said it was a hint, but was it necessary for him to go out of his way just for a hint?
As a remnant of despair, I imagine he wanted to feel the despair of his plan being thwarted.
I think that if he wanted the thrill, he would have carried out the plan carefully. So when his carefully laid out plan goes to waste, he would be in utter despair.
Yeah, in this way, he created his own downfall. It wasn't that his plan fell through, it's that his plan was for everything to fall through. So,
Yeah,
that doesn't fit.
That's a good point.
Maki must have wanted to hear it directly from Kokichi himself.
But it was pointless. I was a fool for thinking I could have a serious talk with him.
Why? What happened? You refused to talk?
What are you talking about? Remnants of despair? What's that? I don't understand anything you're saying.
Why? Why doesn't he understand anything that's being said? What? Did he lose his memories, or?
But anyway, why are you starting a killing game when it should have ended? You already know it's all meaningless, and that I'm the mastermind.
But why? Why are you saying that you're the mastermind? What's the purpose of this? Kokichi doesn't want anybody to kill anybody, saying that the killing game is ended. Monokuma's going along with it. But why would Kokichi want everyone to suspect him as the mastermind?
Do you love killing that much?
Shut up, you asshole! I realized it was pointless to continue the conversation, so I shot the final arrow.
Did Kaito try to stop it?
But then,
Ah, Kaito. Kaito's too good.
what?
Kaito protected Kokichi?
I mean, that sounds like a Kaito thing to do.
Why? Why would Kaito protect Kokichi?
Because he doesn't want anybody to die. He's been trying to
That
protect
moment,
everybody the
my
entire
mind
time.
went blank. I knew I had to do something about the poison. I rushed to Shuichi's research lab for the antidote.
So you didn't have the antidote with you at the time.
I used Strike 9 poison to torture Kokichi for info, but I planned to kill him from the start.
That's so mean!
But still, in case something went wrong, you should have... I don't know.
But that was my first mistake. Because of that,
I guess she never suspected that she would be able to make a mistake, or that she would miss, or things like that, but
You what?
that's very reckless.
I ended up killing Kaito. When I returned with the antidote, the hangar shutter had been closed. I assumed it was Kokichi's doing, but because of that, I couldn't enter the hangar anymore. I needed to give Kaito the antidote somehow, so I went to the bathroom window. Kaito, can you hear me? Quick, drink
Okay,
this
so
antidote!
there was an antidote. We didn't find one for it, I don't think, in Shuichi's lab. So apparently Maki took it, if there was one, which apparently there was.
After calling out to him, I chucked the antidote through the bathroom window.
Oh, okay. I was confused. Hold on. I thought that was a bottle of poison, not an antidote. Am I misremembering? Presents. Or no, not presents. What am I doing? Truth bullets. Let me take a look at that real quick. Yeah, poison. Out of all of them, the Strike 9 poison model has less poison in it. What about the bottle that we saw, though, on the ground? Where is that? Small empty bottle. Oh. The only visible word is poison. The last word is probably antidote. Okay, so I was mistaken because I'm really dumb for not thinking more about this. The fact that the other words were blurred out on this bottle. I should have thought more, or I didn't have enough information at the time to think about it, but after I had all the information, I should have went back and looked at this and thought about it a little bit more and connected the dots. That's my bad.
Kaito noticed it and grabbed the antidote. But Kokichi stole it from him.
Really?
Sorry, but I can't die here. Since I'm the mastermind of this killing game.
Why? Why do you need to survive so much, Kokichi? And why do you need to pretend that you're the mastermind of this killing game so much? And why is Monokuma allowing you to go through with this?
Wait! There's only Kaito!
Oh, you don't have to worry about Kaito. He fulfilled his dream, right?
Of going into space. I mean, Kaito's probably gonna die, was probably gonna die soon anyways because of his own issues, right?
He already went to space. Damn it!
Stop!
Phew, I feel so much better. I guess that's a wrap.
How is he not more messed up with an arrow in his back? A crossbow bolt.
Not, because now another class trial is going to start.
Last trial?
You'll be the Blackened for this case, you know. The Blackened who killed Kaito.
I killed...
Shut it! Screw the class trials. Like hell am I gonna let you have your way?
Kaito! Why did you protect Kokichi? If you didn't help him, then...
I couldn't help it. Even if it's Kokichi, I can't have you kill anybody.
That's exactly what I would have expected from Kaito.
What?
I mean,
Aw, Kaito wasn't protecting me. He was protecting Maki.
that also is a reasonable take, I guess, but either way, she ends up killing somebody, so it doesn't end up protecting her. Kaito has always been, like, acting a little bit suspicious this entire, like, for a while now, just to try to hide his injury and stuff like that, but
The situation
still trying to
just
help
got
us out
way
in the
worse.
end.
Huh. Maki is gonna become the Blackened responsible for killing you. All because you protected me!
No, even if you didn't, even if you didn't protect Kokichi, she still would have ended up becoming a Blackened. Because Kokichi it can't be the mastermind. It can't be that simple.
So don't you worry, Makiro. I'm not gonna die that easily. Just leave it to me. I'll put an end to this killing game.
Hold on a second. I just had a thought. So Kaito's still alive here. Kaito has not died to the poison yet. So somebody still has a chance to kill him. So what could happen is that Kokichi took that antidote so that he survives for the class trial. He could like kill Kaito at the before he ends up getting killed by the poison. That's something that could happen. And that way that way Kokichi could basically save Maki from her fate as being the murderer of Kaito and being the Blackened, and Maki would get to live. I could see things going that way at this point.
You're still full of energy, even like that. You really are not boring.
What?
I want to see what a dying Kaito can do. So, show me what you've got. I won't meddle with your plans.
What are you?
Don't mind me. Run, Makiro. Just hurry up and run.
What is running gonna do?
Run. And live. You gotta live.
We're still trapped in here. There's nowhere for her to run to.
But I refused to give up. I tried to enter the hangar by breaking the control panel with my knife.
Okay, I thought it was the exisal, but just the knife, huh?
In the end, I couldn't.
So that's where the marks on the control panel came from, huh?
After that, I returned to the bathroom window once more, but I didn't see anyone. The bathroom door was closed. I called out, but neither Kaito nor Kokichi answered.
It's also possible that Kaito killed himself by like disabling the safety measures from it and having it squash him or something.
I couldn't do anything anymore. All I could do was leave. That's when I made up my mind. As the Blackened who killed Kaito, I would kill Kokichi during this class trial.
I see. That's why you're trying to make it... But that doesn't make sense. It would kill all of us as well.
In exchange for all of your lives.
And yourself as well. How is that a good solution?
So
Just
that's
revenge?
Then Kokichi, knowing what he knew, still helped Maki cover up her crime?
Was that why you smushed Kaito in the hydraulic press?
Kaito wanted Maki to be spotless. As his friend, I felt obliged to help him.
How dare you make fun of him! You call yourself a friend? You enjoyed watching us suffer! You fucking asshole!
Ooh,
Still don't believe
Maki
it.
is so scary. Good thing I'm in this exisal. Pretty sure Maki would have already killed me if I was out there in the flesh. So, what are everyone's plans now?
Too bad nobody brought a hammer, so we could just bonk the Exisal right now and see who's inside of it, if anyone is
With
there.
the truth out in the open, who are you guys gonna vote for? You can vote for me, but if you do, we'll all die together. Or vote for Maki and live. Well, choose whichever you want. I don't care either way.
Why? Why are you so calm? Your life depends on this too.
Who cares? Just choose already. Come on, who are you gonna vote for?
No, we can't vote yet.
Okay, Shuichi still has more info?
We don't have the whole truth.
So, where could the whole truth be hidden? We understand why there were 3 arrows. We understand the bottle. Pool of blood in the hangar's bathroom. Hold on, where did all these shots happen? They happened where the so Kaito shot Kokichi first, and that could have happened in the bathroom. But then why did it suddenly, why did they suddenly move to like the Exisal hangar after that? And then they got shot in the Exisal hangar as well. That doesn't have any information. The hydraulic press. There's still the hydraulic press, right? Kokichi is saying that he used it to get rid of the evidence. And there's no holes in that, I don't think. It only squishes... It only won't squish alive things, right? Yeah, when it detects a living thing. So he could have squished the body to cover up evidence. But if he was trying to cover up evidence, why would he leave the bottle of poison? Why would he leave the arrows? So that part of his story doesn't check out. Why was all that evidence left there? I said that before when I was investigating. It felt like evidence was just sitting there waiting for us. And it didn't make sense that it was all just sitting there nicely and neatly. And the bottle of the poison antidote that just so happened to have certain parts of it not visible. The case and the crossbow were still there. There were 2 Exisals at the scene. One of them was Maki's. One of them was just there. Could the other Exisal have something to do with something? Like maybe cutting the cable? Kimiko was seen going in there, yeah. So there was more grenades, right? They could have been used for something, but I don't know what. I don't know if the electro hammers were necessarily relevant at this point. Yeah, and then we've got the video. The video that Kokichi had of Kaito's body being squished. So here's a thought. So where exactly was the cut cable? Let me try to verify that. Is it somewhere that should be visible from Okay, so it's right there. It's not quite past the double yellow, like the yellow and black line. Is the cable going in a different direction here? Like, it's hard to tell. Okay, so the cable that's cut there is supposed to be apparently going towards the, like, the car wash area, but it's cut off. But here in the video, based on the perspective, that wire is not going past that pillar. When we look here, I don't think. The perspective is really weird. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't think I can conclude anything from that.
This case isn't over.
Okay, tell me, Shuichi, what are you gonna say? Because I still don't have a clue.
Thank you for telling us everything, Maki. Thanks to you, I finally understand. There's another hidden truth within your testimony.
Where? Where's the hidden truth? Show me.
A hidden truth?
Yes, I'm positive. Because there's something wrong with the testimony you've given us.
What did she say? She said that she came out of the Exisol. Kaito and Kokichi were already there. Kokichi had already been shot once. She got out of the Exisol and somehow shot him in the back. However that works. And then tried to shoot him again. And Kaito jumped in front. And then she left to get the antidote without securing Kokichi. Came back, the shutter was closed. Then they were in the bathroom. Then she threw in the antidote instead of handing it over. Kokichi took it and drank it. And then that was the end of it. The part of Maki's testimony that doesn't add up. The part of it does is Kaito protecting Kokichi, control panel being damaged, Maki becoming the blackened, Kokichi drinking the antidote. Is it this? Because he already attacked Kokichi.
Oh no!
Okay, no. The control panel being damaged, but it was damaged. She could have got another Exisol, I guess.
That's it!
But her hammers had been out of juice to get another one.
Maki said she used a knife to try to break the control panel and enter the hangar. But that doesn't make sense, because there's an alarm system on the shutter.
Yeah, there's that too.
Oh yeah! The alarm should have gone off if someone got close to the shutter.
But at that point, it didn't really matter, does it? Because Kokichi already knew that she was there.
I was too focused to notice at the time. But now that you mention it, it is odd.
Maybe the sensor just missed her.
Nah, the security there isn't that sloppy.
It would have to be turned off then, I guess. Or somebody used one of the grenades.
If a shady person got near the shutter, the alarm would have gone off without question.
Then why didn't the alarm go off?
Like I told you, this isn't over. There's still a hidden truth to find.
That's right, there must be some kind of reason behind all these oddities. Finding that reason will help us find the hidden truth. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Apparently somebody used maybe a grenade or turned it off. Use electronic ammo for everything Exils. Hold on, Hadz's electronic lock, what does that say? Two of them at the scene, one with its cockpit closed. Other one in the middle of its hangar with its hatch open. Electronic lock on the hatch only Monocubs can open. That's not relevant, I don't think.
And I tried to destroy the control panel.
Electro bomb, maybe?
At the time, the alarm system didn't go off.
But if you had approached the shutter, the alarm would have activated with 100% certainty.
Maybe it was just broken.
Perhaps it was turned to a special setting?
Or maybe Maki is telling a lie. Did you really try to break the control panel?
I'm not going to tell any more lies.
Okay, I don't know what to shoot there. I'm gonna have to watch that again. It seemed like the alarm system itself was working properly. So what can we learn from that? The alarm system. So you're saying that the alarm system was working properly? If that's the case, then it wouldn't have been an electro bomb.
And I tried to destroy the control panel with my knife. At the time, the alarm system didn't go off.
But if you had approached the shutter, the alarm would have activated with one.
Is it this? It is. So somebody used an electro bomb. We knew that Kokichi had multiple of them, but why use one right now?
There is a way to disable the alarm system. An electro bomb would take it down.
But Maki only had one.
But Maki only had one bomb, and she used it during the raid this morning.
So it must have been one of Kokichi's bombs, but why would he do that?
Then the only other person who could have used one is Kokichi, right?
Huh? Why would I use an electro bomb? I had no reason to shut off the alarm, right? I'd be at a disadvantage if I did that.
I guess so. I can't come up with a reason why Kokichi would want to cut the alarm.
But nevertheless, it did happen, right? But we know that the alarm system was neutralized. It had to be. In that case, then...
I've got it! Disabling the alarm system wasn't the real objective.
What?
The main objective of Kokichi using an electro bomb was that it had to do with the crusher, but the cable in that was cut. I thought. Oh no, sorry, I'm confused. The cable was cut in order to prevent it from opening up again. It was not cut to disable its safeties. So was the electro bomb somehow used to disable the safety mechanisms? But I'm still under the assumption that Kaito was already dead when he was being crushed. Is that not the case? And if he used the electro bomb to disable the safeties, would the crusher even have still worked? Like, why would you do that? Disable the safety function, but...
That's it!
Again...
It was to deactivate the safety function on the press.
So again, the rules of how that works are too vague for me to have made that connection exactly, because what the bomb decides to disable or not disable is very random, seemingly. Like, it doesn't disable Kibo, although it does make him feel a little bit sick, possibly. It does disable the security systems, but it doesn't disable other electronics like the press. It's very selective, and there's no way I would have known what specific things it disables and doesn't disable.
Deactivate the safety function?
The electro bomb wouldn't have just taken down the alarm system. It also would have disabled the hydraulic press's safety function.
But why not the hydraulic press itself?
That's true, but why would he do that?
To crush Kaito, ostensibly.
There's only one reason that anyone would want to do that. If I'm right, it means that we've been thinking about this all wrong.
All wrong?
What aspect of this case runs contrary to the new evidence? The credibility of the death video? This? Maybe the bomb affected the death video somehow? No. The bomb interferes with the communication. I don't think it affected the video cam. What do you mean? That's exactly why it would affect the video camera. If he had to use the bomb in order to disable the security system, in order to crush Kaito, first of all, that would make him the murderer, because he had to do that before he was dead in that case. If he was doing that at all, like, that would be the only reason he would use the bomb. If he had done that, it would also disable the video camera, unless, again, we're saying that, oh no, it doesn't disable video cameras for some reason that makes no sense at all. That would, you get what I'm saying, right? Hopefully.
Oh no!
I feel like the whole video camera thing is weird because of the fact that supposedly a bomb was going off when the press was being used, but okay. the cause of death because now he was potentially have been squished.
That's it. Kaito's cause of death.
What?
If the electro bomb was used while Maki was trying to deliver the antidote, maybe Kaito didn't die by poison. It could be something else entirely.
Yes, the cause of death could now be being squished. Hydraulic press. But again, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not convinced that it's even the hydraulic press that killed him. But it's
the hydraulic press. Kaito could have been killed by the press after all.
I don't know.
What? He could have?
It's possible that he was unconscious in that video and squished to death, but I still feel like he was probably already dead at that point. For some reason. And I still feel like the bomb would have turned off the camera.
If
I don't
the
know.
safety was off, the press could have crushed Kaito while he was still alive.
If Kokichi used the bomb for something, could he have used it to get into one of the mechs?
Right after I threw the antidote, I tried to open the shutter.
If it works the same way as the hammers.
So, Kaito should have still been alive.
And if he was crushed by the hydraulic press after that, then we have our cause of death.
If that's the case, it'd mean the one who killed Kaito wasn't Maki.
It would be whoever was operating the hydraulic press. Kokichi.
We'll see about that.
I see. Very impressive. The hydraulic press could have been the cause of death. But that's just a possibility.
What do you mean?
It's possible that I killed Kaito with the press, but there's no way to know.
Yeah, because the cable was cut, I guess, so we can't really examine the body, but even if we did, I don't know how much we would get from that.
Kaito's death could have been either the poison arrow or the hydraulic press.
Is that the whole point? Is the whole point that it's going to be like the last trial of Danganronpa 2, where it could have been anything?
Both causes are possible, but you'll never be able to determine it. No matter what.
No matter what?
That's not true. We can probably solve this mystery too. Right, Shuichi?
Is it really possible to determine Kaito's actual cause of death? Was Kaito's cause of death the poison arrow or the hydraulic press, or is it possible to tell? I'm gonna say it is possible. No, there's no evidence that it determines the cause of death. Absolutely. Huh? Shuichi, it can't be. I don't want to accept it. Oh, okay, fine. I wanted to believe, but I guess we can't believe.
I hate to admit it, but Kokichi is right. We have no way to prove the cause of death.
What did you say?
I don't know. I feel like there should have been some way.
You can't check the body, and you don't have any conclusive evidence. You can't deduce any more from here on out. There's no way to know what happened. But I know, because I was actually involved.
So that's what you were trying to do.
What? What is it? What is it, Shuichi? I don't know what you're talking about.
You were trying to commit an unsolvable murder.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying before. Like with Danganronpa 2's trial with the poison grenades.
Do you finally get it? Yep, that was my plan. The gimmick of this murder case isn't the unknown victim, but rather the unknowable culprit.
So we can either vote for Maki and say that she did it, in which case, if we're right, she dies. So obviously the best option for us, like, that we could see from like these characters' perspective would be to vote for Kokichi, because if they're right, then then Kokichi dies and their favorite person Maki gets to survive. But if they're wrong, then they all die. But if they're wrong, they all die anyways. Whereas if they vote for Maki, Maki's gonna die no matter what happens. If they're wrong, she dies. If they're right, she dies.
No one understands but me. Only I know the answer. There's no more room for deduction here. Choose the culprit with your own intuition.
So if Kaito was already dead, then he would have used the bomb in order to pretend like he had to use it in order to squish Kaito, but he couldn't have known that Maki was outside trying to use the panel at the time. I mean, I guess he could have suspected that she would try. But there was no, like, guaranteed way, I think, for him to show that. So the vibe that I would get from that is that he needed to use the grenade in order to squish Kaito. Because otherwise, we're just saying that he used the grenade in order to make it seem like he needed it to squish Kaito, and just guessed that Maki was gonna check to try to access the security system, and that she would then notice, which she didn't, by the way, we had to notice for her, would then notice that the security thing didn't go off, and then make the connection that it had to have been because of a grenade. That's a long chain of, like, possibilities that I don't know if he would even think of.
Are you troubled? I'm sure robots don't have intuition, right? But there's nothing you can do about it. This is just how the trial goes. So, who is the culprit? Maki or me? The heart-racing excitement as the blackened and the spotless face off. It's voting time!
I keep trying to, like, see inside the suit there, because I know that the thing opens up, right, and you can see whoever's inside of it, but I feel like you can see in there right now, and I've been looking at it earlier in the trial as well as last session when this thing was here. The thing is, that's not very conclusive of anything. It could just be that these things, when they're rendered in the game, don't show anybody inside them because that's just the way that they were programmed. That's just the way they were 3D modeled. But assuming that it's not just a game thing where you can't see who's inside of it, I don't see anybody inside of it right now. Like, you can see when in its motions, like the white outline of the seat, and nobody's in the seat. Is there actually nobody in the seat, or is that just, like I said, game logic? That, oh, they didn't model anyone in the seat for the Exisals in this form. Not even like a silhouette. Oh, great. So who are we gonna vote for? I can't believe we're already voting. Oh my gosh, this is doomed. I don't think that he would have done that with a grenade.
My line. I'm the one who decides when it's voting time.
Okay, good, because I'm not ready yet. He's if I had to pick, it has to be Koichi, because I just don't think that he would have thought that far ahead with that many sort of weird coincidences that to use the grenade before he crushes Kaito if he didn't have to. But I don't know, maybe.
Come on, no one's gonna figure out the truth. Let's just vote already. This won't be a problem, right, Monokuma? Because you know who the culprit is, don't you? Just like you always do.
And this is the thing, like, he definitely can't be the mastermind because Monokuma's out here chatting away with us.
Huh?
Monokuma has to either be autonomous or the mastermind has to be someone else.
Yes, of course.
What kind of a reaction
Are we
is
supposed to
that?
say that he doesn't know? Monokuma always knows, though.
The culprit, you say? Yes, of course I know.
Why do you seem so flustered?
Flustered? Me? What are you talking about?
What's going on with Monokuma right now? I'm not going to try to read anything into that, because this is Monokuma. Monokuma could just be acting that way in order to confuse us. I don't think we can like look at Monokuma's behavior and say, oh look, Monokuma's so flustered. Maybe he must really not know. You can't make that conclusion, not from Monokuma.
Monokuma? Do you not know who the culprit is either?
Maybe, but I wouldn't take his like reaction for anything.
Huh? Oh, what do you mean I don't know? What don't I know, huh?
You don't know, do you?
What does this mean? Why doesn't Monokuma know who the culprit is?
Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is either? Okay, so are we just supposed to accept this at this point, that Monokuma doesn't know? Monokuma doesn't know. What does that tell us about this case? Wait, this case?
Yes, that's it. So that's what Kokichi's real objective was.
To mess with Monokuma, not us? Does Kokichi want like Monokuma to like break his own rules or something?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Kokichi wasn't just trying to commit a murder that we couldn't figure out. He was trying to commit a murder that Monokuma couldn't figure out either.
I mean, that's very interesting and cool, but the only way to guarantee that that will work is not to vote for either Maki or Kokichi. But I don't know. How does it work? I don't know how the rules like restrict Monokuma or not. Can I take another look at the school rules real quick? Yep. Students must live at the Ultimate Academy for the remainder of their lives. Once a murder takes place, surviving students must participate in a trial. If the black is exposed, they will be executed. If the black is not exposed, all remaining students will be executed. So these two are rules. That means if Monokuma decides incorrectly, Monokuma has a 50-50 chance if we select one of Maki or Kokichi. So there's a 50-50 chance that Monokuma picks wrongly. But who or what would enforce these rules upon Monokuma if Monokuma fails them? If Monokuma chooses incorrectly and is like, okay, you were correct. I'm gonna go execute Kokichi, and finds out that he was wrong. First of all, how does he even find out that he was wrong? And then who enforces? I mean, I guess Monokuma could enforce it on himself that he broke the rules, but how are we actually gonna get the real answer from it? Is Kokichi gonna wait until Monokuma makes their judgment, whether or not they were right or the judgment was right or wrong, and then reveal the answer? That could be possible. Like, let's say that we've all vote for Kokichi. Then Kokichi reveals, oh, sorry, I'm the one who knows, and actually, I'm not the culprit. Wait, no, because he would have to do it after Monokuma makes the judgment. Yeah, but if he waits till after Monokuma says, okay, you're the culprit, you're gonna be executed, and then he reveals that he isn't, would that do anything? Would Monokuma decide to destroy itself because of that? I don't know. I don't know anything. If the Black End survives the class trial, they will graduate and re-enter the outside world. Which doesn't sound so fun. They'll continue until only 2 surviving students remain. We're still not at that point. I still wonder how that's going to come into play, and if we're even going to get to that point. We have to, right? This is like, what is it? Like the Sword of Damocles or something hanging above our head, that this is going to come into play at some point. I don't think that's the right analogy, but nighttime, violence is not allowed. He'll never directly commit a murder. I don't think he's broken that rule. Your monopaths are important, don't damage them. 3 or more students discover a body. Free to explore. And people will like, be exterminated if they violate the rules. Swimming is prohibited at nighttime. Only the one whose victim is found first will be the blackened. I see. Could this come into play? I thought earlier that it's possible that both Kokichi and Kaito are killed. If Kokichi killed Kaito and then succumbed to poison, although he took the antidote, could he have pretended to take the antidote? Let's say for some reason he pretended to take the antidote and then died, but then he was the second to be found because we haven't even found him yet. In that sense, Kokichi would be the murderer, but he would be dead, and then and Maki would be fine. I mean, that's something similar to what I was thinking before. Okay, that's all. I didn't learn anything from that, I don't think.
Murder Monokuma couldn't figure out?
But what's the point of that? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma.
We gotta stop saying this already.
Consider how many elements of this case would be cleared up. Prior to this case, Monokuma always knew the specific details of each crime, correct?
We don't really know how Monokuma knows all that stuff.
That must
He
mean
just seems to be
there's
omniscient.
some way of monitoring us.
Perhaps there are hidden cameras strategically
The
placed
bomb.
to avoid our detection.
That's what he used. So he used the bomb not to allow himself to commit the murder, but to cover up to stop the cameras.
I can't say for certain, but he must be keeping watch somehow. Kokichi probably used the electrobomb to scramble whatever that was. The electrobomb would prevent any cameras from sending video wirelessly.
I see. So now I do think that it's possible that it could be either one, Maki or him. Because that gives him a reason to use the electro bomb in either case.
Surveillance cameras were hidden.
Like I said, what's the point? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma.
Before we determine that for sure, I want to make one thing clear. If the objective were to create a crime that would stump Monokuma, the exisals...
Yeah, if that was his whole point, then he wouldn't. This would be another reason why he wouldn't be Monokuma. Because why would he try to stump Monokuma if he was Monokuma?
Yes, the exisals weren't protecting Monokuma. They were...
Preventing him from interfering? Watching him?
That's it! They were watching Monokuma.
Watching him?
Yes. Remember what Monokuma said earlier in the investigation?
Oh, at the time, the exisals were on autopilot, on directed to only observe me. Yeah, they're making sure you didn't interfere.
Bodyguards. They wouldn't have been facing him. They would have been scanning the area, watching us.
And they couldn't attack him.
But they weren't. That implies that they weren't watching us. They were watching him.
Because otherwise Kokichi would have been attacked if they attacked Monokuma.
They were trying to make sure that Monokuma wouldn't go near the crime scene.
That reminds me. Before I stole an exisal, all 4 units were focused on Monokuma. That's why when I stole one to enter the hangar, the other 3 didn't pursue me.
Hold on though. What did Kokichi want to do before Maki interfered? Because they were both surprised that Maki appeared, right? What was Kokichi's original plan? I think that's what this all comes down to, and that's the key point to all of this. What was Kokichi's initial plan before Maki showed up? Why did he have Kaito? What did he want to do? We know that once Maki showed up and did all this stuff, he's like, okay, I'll try to attack Monokuma by creating a murder that he cannot solve and mess him up somehow, right? But before that, he wasn't planning on doing that, unless he was somehow planning to have himself killed. But then it would have been obvious that Kaito was the murderer, right? And if he killed Kaito, then it would have been obvious that he was the murderer. So he wouldn't have had that as his original plan. So what was his original plan? I still can't think of it. I still can't think of anything. And that's my issue.
So Monokuma must have been talking about Maki.
Even if it puts someone at a disadvantage, the class trial must always be fair. The person who shared that info with me didn't seem interested in sharing it with you guys. Let me reread that. So Monokuma must have been talking about Maki. Oh yeah. I see. Even if it puts someone at a disadvantage, the class trial must always be fair. The person who shared that info with me didn't seem interested in sharing with you guys. Okay. So you share it instead. That way it'll be fair to the participants. Right, Yamaki was the one who knew the info about getting into an Exisal.
She didn't want to share that information because it would have linked her to the murder. In which case, it could only be Maki.
You're right.
So to summarize this discussion, Kokichi used the electro bomb in the hangar and the Exisals to watch Monokuma, thereby creating a scenario in which Monokuma has no idea who the culprit is?
I told you there's no point. Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
Well, he could try to figure it out by knowing the timing of the death, right? Monokuma could potentially figure it out if he somehow knew, well, I guess figuring out the time wouldn't. It depends on how fast that poison is. It says that it doesn't take effect immediately, that it's a slow poison, right? I don't think it says how long, though. It takes some time. Yeah, it only says some time. How much is some time? Like, based on how long that some time is, we could think, okay, does Kokichi have enough time to think of this idea and kill Kokichi, and kill Kaito himself? Or would it have taken too long to figure out this whole plan and Kaito was already dead and then he thought of this plan? Or, again, could Kaito have been killed by his own injuries from before? That we don't know. And what were his injuries from before? Was he poisoned by somebody else? Was he poisoned by Rantaro? We don't. Was he poisoned by Kaede? Was he poisoned by whoever? Did we poison him? We don't know. Anybody could have caused his initial injuries. So who knows?
Kokichi might not be controlling Monokuma at all.
What?
But Kokichi's the mastermind, right? Shouldn't he be controlling Monokuma?
Kokichi might not be the mastermind.
Finally, thank you, Shuichi, for saying that.
Remember that the only reason we think that is because Kokichi told us. Monokuma hasn't said a word about that. It's possible that Kokichi is just lying to us.
No way I lied!
Yeah, Kokichi would never lie. What are you talking about?
I'm definitely controlling Monokuma. The mastermind of the killing game is totally me.
Totally.
What pitted humanity's last survivors against each other is all me, baby.
Still looking at that empty chair that is inside of you.
Right. He's a remnant of despair. How do we forget?
But that doesn't necessarily
Sorry, I skipped
mean
that.
He's the mastermind.
Well, I guess. But is that really possible?
Well, Monokuma?
I can't answer that without causing problems, because I gotta run this trial fair and square.
Even more reason to give us the answer. If you don't tell us the truth right now, you'll be an accomplice to Kokichi's lies. Does that sound like a fair game? Would you say this class trial is fair?
Yeah, tell us! Is Kokichi the real mastermind or not?
Definitely
No
not.
need to think about it. You're being way too forward, you know.
Aren't you normally the forward one?
Ugh. I don't know what he's trying to say by that.
I mean, I don't mind, because that's probably part of your strategy, too. But in the interest of fairness, I suppose it's time to tell the truth. Unlike the lies you love so much, the truth should be impartial to everyone.
And what is that truth?
I'm not being controlled by Kokichi, because he's not the mastermind.
What? No way! I never would have guessed. Poggers. I don't know.
Really true?
I never could have thought of him as well. When he revealed himself as the mastermind, I did believe him for a second, but I didn't want it to be true at all. I never wanted that to be the actual answer.
Kokichi was just messing with you. I never once said he was the mastermind.
Then it was all Kokichi's lie?
Yeah, that is what that would mean. With the key from the last motive, he was the first to learn the truth of the outside world.
Okay, so that was what that was what the key was for. That makes sense. Now the thing is, if Kokichi is doing all this in order to trap Monokuma, trap the real mastermind, whoever that is, and have them not know who the actual murderer was, then Monokuma has no reason to keep any of Kokichi's secrets. Monokuma should have just told us that secret from the start. If this is like a true battle between Monokuma and Kokichi.
Based on his deductions, he
And that's the weird
fabricated
thing.
a lie to make you all think he was the mastermind.
I see. Kokichi's own deductions.
Although I guess we wouldn't have necessarily believed Monokuma if he said that at the start. Do you want to know? Then I'll tell you. I'm getting kind of bored with all the lying, so everything I say now will be the truth, okay?
His deductions got a lot of details right, though. Pretty impressive, honestly.
Based on his own deductions, he fabricated the lie. What deductions did he need to make? He already knew what the outside world looked like.
Based on his deductions, he fabricated a lie to make you all think he was the mastermind.
Okay, so what this is telling me is that some of the things that Kokichi said about the outside world were false. That's what it's saying. So Kokichi just made a bunch of deductions about the state of the outside world and the state of us. I think Kokichi was the one who said that we like flew off and then like came back to Earth or something like that, right? Or that we never took off in the first place or something like that, right? I forget exactly what his deduction was, but it was not a very hopeful one. So there's a possibility then that there is more hope in the truth than what Kokichi has told us. Perhaps we came back to Earth because it is now actually possible to rehabilitate it, to whatever the word is, to change its environment. Or it's possible that there are other humans already still here, living in holes under the ground or something like that. Or it's possible that we're in another world, and what we saw right there was just the beginnings of the terraforming process. That's the word. And like a bunch of the mechs made a bunch of like buildings around, but they're not done finishing with the environment yet. Like finishing with making the atmosphere. That's less likely, but that's also still possible.
But what about the Exosols?
What about them?
If Kokichi wasn't the mastermind, how'd he control them so easily?
Probably found it with the car key as well, or something.
He
Or
just
Monokuma
used
give it to him.
Mew's remote control, right?
Oh, was that from you? Use remote control.
So the remote that Kokichi was using was made by Mew?
Okay, no, that's something I never would have expected. But if that's true, then Mew definitely. Then that means he was lying about Mew not wanting to. Was he lying about Mew saying that she didn't think that it was possible to stand up to Monokuma? Because if Mew already had something that could control the Exosols, why would she go through with that trial in the first place? That sounds like a lot of weapons to use against Monokuma.
Oh, you didn't know? Mew not only invented the electro bomb and the electro hammer, she also made a remote control that can hijack any electronic device.
Okay, I still don't like Mew's personality, but she really is the MVP in all of this. But still, again, if she had been able to make all of that, why did she not just help us mess up Monokuma?
Kokichi just slapped a receiver on each of the exosouls and took them for a spin.
Hey, isn't it a bit unfair to tell them all that?
Fairness has nothing to do with it. I offered up that info purely out of spite.
See, I know, I would have expected you to do that earlier, Monokuma.
Spite towards you for trying to usurp the mastermind's role and take over the game.
Well, whatever. It's way more interesting to defeat an enemy who plays dirty anyway.
What's going on? It seems like they're actually fighting.
There's no doubt about it. Kokichi isn't the mastermind.
Were we just being dragged around by Kokichi's lies the whole time?
What were you trying to accomplish by pretending to be the mastermind, Kokichi?
I would think that he was trying to get everybody to vote for him in some respects, but that also doesn't seem to be completely true though either. If he was, then he wasn't doing a good job of trying to make it look like he was the mastermind, or trying to make us vote for him. Or maybe he was, I don't know, it's hard to tell with him.
Now you're gonna be all quiet? This is so frustrating.
I mean, you said earlier that he was trying to trap the mastermind basically by making him not know who the killer was and get it wrong.
Then if he's not the mastermind, who is?
Why are you so certain there's even a mastermind to begin with?
True. Monokuma could just be autonomous. There's no reason that there needs to be a mastermind. What?